Hey, what's up everybody? Here to do another Wild Eye review. I could not find a trailer for this one, but here it is. The Zombie Apocalypse in Apartment 14F. Came out in 2019, runtime about an hour and 13 minutes. When three stoners launch a camera drone off their balcony in the hopes of spying on their sexy neighbor, they overshoot the target and see what appears to be a zombie attack in the apartment 2 floors below. And it was directed by Gilbert Allen, written by Sean Donnelly. Hopefully I pronounced these names right. The cast includes Len J. Phillips as Afternoon John, Griffin Cork as Raymond, S. Raj Kumar the Zombie Slayer, Jarvis Greener, zombie film director, Jace McKenzie, Biting Zombie, Alice Creed, Stairwell Zombie, Wesley Selleck, Bradley Thomas, Jolene Hex, Red, Morgan LeBlanc, Handsome John, Stefan Schroeder as Victim 3, Michael Charnay as Officer Irvinson, Madison, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, I'm sorry, Policewoman, Brianna Lynn Johnson as Victim 1, James Smith as a zombie, Jen Rep as a victim number 2, Jacob Schultz as coroner, Norton Ma as delivery man, Kenneth St. Pierre as bearded zombie, Rob Chalk as detective, Ben Francis as Joey, Eddie McIntosh as tall zombie, Christopher B. Buckley as Drone John, Sabrina Uden as Stairwell Zombie, Carol McGowan as Neighbor, Dean Bush as Officer Lamont. Alright, stay tuned and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Alright, everybody, I'm back, and this is more of what the zombie apocalypse in Apartment 14F is about and what I thought. So basically, it's about Ray and Joey. Now, it said in the description they were like a couple of stoners, which is probably true, and also some druggies as well. What they're doing is they're meeting up with this guy in apartment 16F, you know, 2 floors above, and they're going to be hired as these drug dealers, supposedly, but they're being interviewed. Like the guy, he was like, fuck, you don't show up to Walmart and get a job, which even on my day off, I still hear the W word. But anyway, that was kind of funny. So what happens while they're there, they find out that they're going to be selling coke. And this guy has like a whole bag of it that they find, probably like 30 pounds. But during the process, after they're talking, and he's showing them the apartment, order some Chinese and everything, and he shows them this drone, and that there's this woman 2 floors down who's a prostitute, and he's been watching her and seeing the Johns come in every now and then. So, you know, they're spying on her. And after his phone rings, he leaves them to the drone, tells them don't touch anything, which of course, you know, they want to zoom in on what's going on, and they start fighting over the control, and it goes down another floor where they witness a zombie attack, people being torn apart, guy trying to defend himself with a baseball bat, and just total zombie apocalypse chaos going on. And they're freaking out, so they crash the drone, or it goes lower, and while that's going on, they're like freaking out, and the guy comes back out, asks him what happened. They tell him to check out the footage, like you wouldn't believe if we told you. So they play it, and he thinks it's a joke. He doesn't know what's going on, so he says he's going to go down there and prove it. Well, first he wants to go get his drone, and while he gets his drone, he falls over the edge, gets electrocuted, shuts off the power. So now these two guys really think stuff is going down, but they don't know if it's just happening in the apartment or happening all over. They got no cell phones with them because he wouldn't let them bring them in. There's no power to contact anyone, which I don't know. It's weird if there were any other neighbors on that floor or if it's just one apartment on that floor, which was weird because stuff that happens, you would think other neighbors would hear what's going on. So they look out and they see that he had fallen, got electrocuted. They describe it, but they don't show anything. I wish they would have showed what he looked like, you know. So they're thinking that the whole building's, you know, being overrun. So they barricade themselves in for the first 24 hours. It's over a time of a few days that this goes on. They have some interesting dreams with some cool zombie effects going on. There's a few practical effects in there. There's some good makeup effects, but not really much going on. They're just, you know, freaking out, trying to figure out what they're going to do, what's going on in the outside world, and they decide to just have a good time with all the coke that they have there. And it's kind of silly in a way because they're like rubbing their faces in it, snorting like way overdose. These people, if this was real, it would have killed them of what happened. But it was funny. They're just all freaking out, you know. And there's still some battery left in the juice, and they're watching the prostitute downstairs, the woman, and he just calls her Red. And he wants to go down. He's worried about her, afraid that she's going to go out. She doesn't know what's going on. So he watches her throughout the movie, and he's like, decides that he's like in love with her. And it, no pun intended, but it leads to a climax with a twist at the end. He wants to go down and rescue her. And besides of what's going on, it'll change both their lives forever. But I'm not going to say how. So check out the Zombie Apocalypse in 14F. Find out what happens. And I'll leave a link down below for Wild Eye Releasing. Check them out. Of course, you can get it on Tubi, Walmart, Amazon, and Wild Eye Releasing. And check them out. Wild Eye is worth the buy. See you next time.